Okay guys, I think I am streaming live. Think so anyway. Let's see, are we live now? Yep, everything seems okay. So, what I'm going to do in this video, in this live stream, is, well, do something that I thought would be good to do live. You know, I'm really looking forward to doing more live streams with you guys and doing things live so that I can chat to you guys, interact with you guys. So, this is what I've got. I've got a big box from China. I've got a big box from China, and you know, I thought about, you know, just recording a video and then editing it and all that, but I wanted to do it live. Hopefully some of you guys will pop in, chat to me when I'm doing it. So basically, minimize this. Basically, this is a box of items that has been sent to me kindly by GearBest in China. So they've sent me a lot of things to review, and you know, over the next few weeks I will be reviewing them, but I just wanted to basically give you a preview. So this is a preview of what I will be reviewing over the next few weeks, and hopefully I can do this without cutting my fingers or taking too long to open the box. Right, okay. I'll go from this angle, top level. So thanks to GearBest for doing this. I really do appreciate it. And I mean, I know I'm a big YouTube fan myself. You know, I watch a lot of videos, and I know that as a subscriber, as a viewer, people don't want to know about how much money people are making, or how, you know, if they're struggling and they're trying to get sponsors and all that kind of thing. I don't like talking about it too much with my subscribers, or, you know, talking about too much in my videos. Right, okay. I didn't kill myself. Yeah, but it is a big help when companies go out the way to send you products for review, and it really does help. So thanks to GearBest. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate the support of the channel. So I'm going to, God, there's so many things here. I'll just take things out one by one. That's probably the best way to do it, because if you look here, the way it's packaged, you know, it's the most practical way to do it. Okay. Oh, number one. What do we have in the box? There's a lot of things in there. Okay, so this is number one. We have the Moto Speed CK108 RGB color LED macro mechanical keyboard. So that's it there. See it, okay. So it says it's got 16.8 million RGB colors, 6 stunning backlight effects, works with Windows 7 to Windows 10, XP Vista as well, Linux and Mac iOS. Looks really cool. I'll need to check prices and all this later. I did have a note of all these things, you know, in the price they would be, but I don't have them at hand. Now, I've not owned a mechanical keyboard before. I've had one of the keyboards that I've got over there tries to kind of imitate one in a way. You know, it's got the colours and all that, but it isn't one. It's just a regular full-size keyboard. But if I remember right, don't quote me, but I think this was about £60, I think, to buy. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to trying this out. I mean, I like the fact it's a full-size keyboard. I like the fact that, you know, it's got lots of different colours, etc. Aluminium and whatnot. So I will be reviewing this soon. This is something that I've needed for a while, guys, because I had another keyboard, the wired one, and the one that was kind of like a mechanical keyboard, and it wasn't doing that well. And I've reverted back to this one by Apple. And it's a great keyboard, but Man, it's so dirty. I really need to clean it. It's about 7 or 8 years old now, I think. Might even be older than that. It's yeah, it's an old keyboard, and I'd like something newer. So don't know why it says that. I was just I was just checking what my live channel says, and it still says let's play SNES wrestling games from one of the last streams. That's a bit bizarre. I don't know why it's doing. That's just coming up on Twitter. I think Twitter's looked at a cache. Anyway, I digress. I digress. Right, on to the next thing. On to the next thing that I'm going to unbox. When I was checking Twitter there, all the boxes went down. So. Bubble wrap, bubble wrap, bubble wrap. Okay. Ooh. Mystery box. It says white, made in China. I may actually have to open that. Right, I'll leave that just now. I'll leave that just now. We'll come back to that one. In fact, I'll just get the other items out. Okay, so in total, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 items in total. I've showed you one of them. And this, look at this one. So that's the controller from 8-Bit Do. So that's one from the mini SNES. That's the 8-Bit Do. So this is Bluetooth, compatible with iOS, Android, macOS, Windows devices. So where is the 2 seconds? I won't even be 2 seconds. Right. They sent me this one in the past. I reviewed this one, and this one looked amazing, but in practice it was actually quite crappy. I didn't like this one, if I'm honest. It has a fantastic design. I mean, I grew up with an NES, and I'm a sucker for you know, Nintendo NES kind of what do you call it, nostalgic designs and that kind of thing. But I just didn't like it. The way that it's designed, it's got basically 4 shoulder buttons. So it's added. Let me give an example. I know I'm backtracking because this isn't part of the unboxing, but I want to make this point. Right. Windows randomly closing there. Right, so this is a PS3 controller. This is kind of the standard controller now when you think about it. You know, Xbox, PS4, they all have the 4 buttons there. The kind of thumbstick buttons, and they've got the 2 shoulder buttons. Now, what they did in this one, if you can see it there, they've got the shoulder buttons. So this allows you to play like first-person shooters and things like that. But they've got them side by side. So instead of front and back, you've got it there and there. So it's like that, and it is implemented really badly. And the smaller thumbsticks as well. I just don't think it was a good controller. It's not a terrible controller. Certainly not a terrible controller, but basically they tried to squeeze too much into too small a form factor with the shoulder buttons and things, and it just didn't work in my opinion. And it's not a bad controller. I just didn't like it. But you can't go wrong with the iconic SNES design. So I've got higher hopes for this wireless SNES controller. I don't know if it works with... Is this going to get into the shot? With this little beauty? I don't know. It doesn't say in the box, but I mean, I don't think the mini SNES was out at the time when this was developed. So if you can see the specifications, it's there. Bluetooth keyboard, touchscreen emulator. So that's going to be good. I'm looking forward to reviewing that. Yeah, that's something I think is going to be really good to test. I'll try and test it out on a few different things, my phone and maybe a console. I'll see what I can do, guys. Right, on to the next one. I have... Okay, this is something I've been wanting to test for a long time. This is one of those fitness bands. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to buy these is because I bought a tracker last year for my ex-girlfriend, one of the Fitbit ones, and it was like £130. And I saw these kind of ones being sold on Amazon and eBay for like £10, £15, £20, £30. And at the end of the day, it does the same thing. Now, granted, I've got a Garmin watch, right? This was like $470. It's $500 retail. It's an expensive watch. I love it. I literally use it every day. It tracks my sleep, my steps, and all that. But I'm going to look like a complete idiot and walk about with this on my wrist as well for a few days and see how it works. Now, there's lots of these, and there was a company who said they were going to send me one of these, and then they didn't. So I was actually ready to buy one, and then a company says, oh, I'm going to send you one for testing. I says, great, I'll review it on my YouTube channel. The kids will love it, but they didn't send it. So this one, thankfully, has been sent by GearBest, and it's Honor. And if you know anything about smartphones, then I'm sure you guys have heard about this. Honor is it's a decent Chinese brand. They've got a lot of phones out there. So, yeah, that looks quite good. I'm looking forward to that. So, that's the other one. So, right, I'll leave the mystery box just now. Leave the mystery box. This is another thing. Oh, the box seems to have opened there. That's not good. So, this is something else that I've been looking to get. You can never have enough tripods. So, I'll step back a little bit. So, there's there. So, you know, I can't remember the brand of this. Where's the brand? Guangzhou, Qingzhou, Zing Dang. I honestly, that was me attempting to actually pronounce that there, of the name of the company. Look at that. Is that coming up in the mic? Basically, this, I think this is one of the ones, I think it's sold, if I remember right, it's sold as the oh, there it's there. I was going to say the QC66. It's not the QC66. It is the Q666. So this is the Devil's Tripod. The Devil's Tripod. This is one of those tripods that basically retails at the kind of 60 to 80 range normally, in dollars or pounds. And they normally get very, very high reviews on Amazon. And a lot of people compare them to tripods that cost a lot more. And tripods are something that bizarrely cost a lot of money. Now what have I got? Right, I'll show you what I've got. This is another 2-second break. I'll show you exactly what I've got. You really shouldn't be doing this on live streams, but okay. Tell us straight a point. Right, okay. See this kind of size of tripod? I've probably got, this is probably my best one. This is the Coleman Magnetic Copter. I love this one. Really good. It's solid. If you hear this. It's really well made. So that's, I've had this the longest, but it's probably my favourite still. I've got about maybe 2 or 3 that kind of size. Maybe, yeah, about that. I've got a few that are really kind of micro ones that are borderline useless because they are usable, but you wouldn't put anything expensive on it. They're okay for just putting simple on it. But when it comes to larger tripods, this was the first one I bought, and this I went for the cheapo one, thinking, why spend a lot of money on a tripod? It's just a tripod. And well, the fact is broke. Shows you how well these things last. This was Ravelli, and I was fairly happy with it. But honestly, I think I paid £9 for it. I think that's what I paid. I've actually kept it around a few times, and when I've been streaming with my PS4 downstairs, I've actually used it a few times to balance my PS4 camera when I was streaming. which is silly to do because it's broke, but I've kind of used it as a backup a few times. Hey Sean, welcome to the stream. So I basically need to bin it. I just kept it around basically because I was like, oh, I need to get round to buying another one. And this is my main one. And this thing is, this thing's going to outlive me. I'm not even joking. I think it wasn't even that expensive. It was like 100 or so, I think. It's the Ravelli ATV. It's like 105 or something. I'd have to check the price, but it's just solid. It's just such a, the problem is it's kind of too big and bulky. That's the only downside to it. That's the problem with that, you know. So that I've basically got this. This is the biggest one that I've got, and you can see here. See, like this is for like panning and tilting with your shot. Like, your idea is you've got a camera, set it there, and then you can do those fancy panning shots. You might be wondering at this point, why have I never seen one of those in your video? Because I find it, I don't know, I hate spending a huge amount of time. I hate spending a huge amount of time doing the pans, and maybe I should spend more time editing videos, but I'd rather spend more time producing videos than spending, you know, 20 minutes recording one and then 2 days editing it. But this tripod can do all that. It might improve the look of certain shots and that, but I don't know. Maybe it's something I need to address. Okay, Sean. So good timing for that question. Sean Orijakor, am I pronouncing your name correctly? He just asked what GearBest has sent me. Well, they've sent me 5 items, so let's recap. I've got a fitness band. I've got the SFC 30 gamepad by 8-Bit Dough. Looking forward to that. I have the Q666 tripod. Tourism tripod, apparently. And this looks really good as well. I've got this MotoSpeed CK108 RGB, color LED macro mechanical keyboard. Man, that was a mouthful. So that's the 4 items just now, and I have something miscellaneous. And this better be good now. I've been building this up. Hi E. Sorry, your name's coming up in Arabic. I can't see what your name is, but hello anyway. What's that Heritage Orijakor? I've never heard that name before. Is that a? Obviously, I'm from Scotland, and you know, most of the names I hear around here are Mick or O something, like Mick Donnelly or O Donnelly or that kind of thing. I'm not sure what this is. I'm still not sure what this is. Ah, this is a game controller. Ah, I know exactly what this is. I know exactly what this is. Okay, this is actually... okay, hold on. Hold on, guys. I'll give you another preview. Hi, Abdullah. Oh, hi, Sean. I didn't know you were from Nigeria. That's cool. Hey, Evo. Right. So, for the catch-up, Evo, I've been saying a few different things. If you watch the video back, you'll be able to see what you've missed. Gaming-wise, this is the main one. I've got a mechanical keyboard as well. So, this is the Wii U Pro pad, I think. The Wii U Pro gamepad, I think they call it. And I'm going to have to do a video separately with this, but I'll show you just now what else they've sent me. Oh, it's lighting up already. So I am ruining the magic for my future videos because I'm going to review all these separately. But there is what an imitation Wii U Pro controller looks like. It actually looks not too bad. I'm not saying it's going to be the same, but this is like $10. And this, God, I think I had to pay like £50 or 50, even more than that, to get it imported because it was the white version before the white one was available in the UK. Yeah, it's quite cool. So, it does look cheap in some ways, but I have actually read some reviews about this. This is why I was wanting this one. So, just checking I was putting the right controller in. So, yeah. So, 5 different things there, guys. I will be doing detailed reviews of all of these over the next couple of weeks. Some of the things will obviously be quite easy to review quickly. Other things might take a little bit of time. You know, like this, I'm going to have to test it for a few days. See how it works. Yeah, basically, Sean, the Wii U Pro controller is quite like an Xbox controller. The only thing I've found is, and you know, I didn't realize this at first. It was only when I was playing with my PS4 a lot, my PS3, and then switching back to this one. On the PS4 controller, the PS3 controller as well, you've kind of like this. If you're playing FIFA, you'd be like this, or you're playing a fighting game, it might be like that. And you're kind of like, you know, that's kind of like where your hand position would be. But I found that with the same position here, I always found that where I thought like the left buttons would be, I'd put my fingers there instead of down there, and it just seemed a little bit low. But it's not the controller's fault. It's really just because I'm switching from playing the PS4 all the time and then switching back to this. When you've played this one a long time, you know, you don't have that problem. I didn't have that problem initially. No problem, E. I'm calling you E because that's what your avatar says. Thanks for watching. And for people who watch this video later, this is what I'm talking about with the E. I couldn't make out his name. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and thanks again to GearBest for sending me these things. I will be doing a review of these all over the next few weeks. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I think this is going to be good. Do any of you guys know if I'm not sure yet, but do any of you guys know if this works with the Mini SNES? That's something I need to find out. On the back, it's got Android, Windows, and Mac OS, and then it's got Windows 8 and all that kind of thing, but it doesn't say whether Mini SNES is there. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. I might even shave one day if I'm doing another video. I've been a little bit lazy. I'm blaming it on winter. The weather has been terrible in Scotland the last few days, so I think winter's here. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'm looking forward to doing you know, unboxing all these over the next couple of weeks. And you know, as I said, GearBest, they really are helping me out here with my channel, sending me things like this to review. So I'm going to yeah, I do appreciate them doing that. And there's some other things I'm going to buy myself. You know, there's a lot of equipment that I want to buy, a lot of things. And what I'm trying to do, just so I don't burst thousands of pounds at the one time, I'm trying to just like a work, make some money, and then buy some things over time. So I'm quite interested. I'm quite interested in some of the Steam products, not the Steam, the Elgato products, like the Elgato Stream Deck, or is it Steam Deck? I think it's Stream Deck. I think it is. In fact, I'll show you what I'm talking. You guys should know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Elgato Stream Deck. I don't know why I was getting that wrong. So what I'm referring to is this. This is something I might try and buy in the future. And the idea is that you get these, it's like a panel, and I would set it in front of me. And when I was live streaming, or just when I was working, I can program the keys to do lots of different things. So when I'm streaming, instead of me, like during this feed, you've probably noticed I've been messing around with some of the windows sometimes and trying to get everything set up correctly. But if I had something like that, you can easily switch between different scenes, and I could show you the browser and all that at the click of a button. And I can also, you know, if I'm editing a video, I can, you know, do certain things and program the buttons. If I'm working, I can copy and paste and things. I don't know. I mean, it's expensive though. It is. It's like £130 or so. So I don't know if I can really justify it. But I think it looks quite cool, and I like to try it out. The other thing, they've got the Cam Link thing. It's quite good as well. That thing, I think that's quite cool. That's what you can use. I mean, it effectively does what I showed last week, that you can use your GoPro, your camera. And they've got some other products as well. docking station. And docking station's another thing that I need as well. That's the problem. I've got all this new equipment, and I'm seriously running out of USB ports now. So I really need to get a Thunderbolt dock. This is the one thing that I really don't understand. Hi, Just Angelis here. Yeah, welcome to the show. I think I've been streaming, according to OBS, 25 minutes, and I'm burning alive with my lights on here. I've got the heating on because it's cold in Scotland today, but I've got the lights on as well, and I'm actually starting to sweat. Yes, my rant there. My rant. I'm sorry, I was just reading the comments there. Hi, Angelis here. My rant about Thunderbolt docks, not docks. Yeah, I've been looking at some of them, and even older Thunderbolt 1 and Thunderbolt 2 docks are expensive. Even a USB 3 hub is quite expensive. It's kind of bizarre. Like, there's a company, Pluggable, that does some. Elgato does some. And then there's a Belkin. They do some Thunderbolt docks and USB hubs, etc. And even second-hand, these things are expensive. I've never understood why they're so expensive. Maybe I just don't understand the technology behind it all, but it's just insane how expensive they are. Like, for a Thunderbolt 3 dock, I've got 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports. So that's good in a way, because I could put a docking station there and have like an extra 4 USB ports, another couple of Thunderbolt ports. I could link up extra monitors more easily. Could do all these things just from the one cable. But you're talking like £300 for a Thunderbolt 3 dock. Well, you can get some of them are like maybe 200 to 300. And I reviewed one last year from HP, and that one retailed at over 200, 250, and it was absolutely terrible, absolutely terrible. Hi, X Emerald. Right, KYLX, by the way. Clikes. Right, sorry guys, yous arrived late. I'm having a rant about Thunderbolt docks in the meantime. Okay, I have got 5 things. The mystery white box, which basically inside is an imitation Wii U Pro controller. I've got the SNES SFC30 gamepad by 8-Bit Do. That looks really good. It's essentially a wireless SNES controller for, you can use it in RetroPie, your Windows computer, Mac, iPhones, tablets, etc. I've got one of those fitness bands. So on the one hand, I'll be tracking my Garmin, and the other hand that. So I think it'd be good to do a comparison between those two. I can maybe see how they track the steps. This track steps all the times anyway, so I can track steps with this, and I'll see how it performs. I'll just leave it on, even in the shower, and we'll see how accurate it is. These things are really cheap. The lesser known ones, not the Fitbits and that. These ones are really cheap. I got a mechanical keyboard, which is back to front here. Yep, so that's the Motospeed CK108. And I got the Q666 tripod. As I said, guys, I'm not actually going to show you these things in great detail today. I will be doing separate reviews of these. So thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'd like to do more streams for you guys in the future. I'd like to interact more and have proper conversations. And I don't know if what do you think? Do you think a Q&A would work? Some sort of Q&A. I could even do a Q&A, or I don't know. I think with this, like, as my channel grows, I get more people that follow me. It's easier to do these live streams and get more interaction. But when you're a smaller channel, it's harder to get that. I'm getting there though, guys. I'm getting there with your help. Yeah, a Q&A would be cool. Evil, yeah, I think a Q&A would be really cool. Just put the comments up just now. And yeah, I think it'd be really good. Thanks for your help last week, Evo. You really helped with the streaming. You really did. I've upgraded my connection, which obviously made a big, obviously a big help. But the latency thing, I think, is really good as well. It means that the comments are popping up. Like, you've probably seen it yourself. The comments are popping up just a few seconds later, so it's really cool. I really like this. I really like how the YouTube have got it all set up. So guys, if you've got any suggestions about future live streams, let me know. I'll put them in the comment area. In fact, if you do it just now, I might miss it. But if you put it in the comment area, it'll be there. And, I'll do some more live streams in the future. I can maybe do specific live streams from a specific area. I can't even talk. Where's my water? My water's fair. Hi, Lewis. Oh, I didn't know you were in Finland. Thanks, Lewis. Glad you like the channel. I didn't, that's the thing. This is the great thing about live streams. I interact with a lot of you guys in the comment area, and I know I bounce around a lot of different subjects like phones and gaming and technology, etc. So I think it's good. I get a good different mix of people, but I never know where people are from. I never know. I never know where people are from. Like, because you're so busy talking about phones or things like, you're not asking, well, where are you from, or what are you doing, things like that. So this is, I think, where live streams were good. I agree with you, Lewis. I think it'd be really good to do more live streams in the future. But that's what I'm saying. With a Q&A, I could do it live. I could even just say, right, we'll do a stream at this time, and I'll do a live Q&A, and then we'll see how I handle all the trolls that pop up. Ah, okay. Right, okay. Lewis, so you're from the UK, but you're in Finland just now because your girlfriend just finished school. What are you talking about there? What are you talking about there, Andalesia? Bluetooth keyboard? I've not heard about this. Bluetooth keyboard compatibility in Windows 10 and the latest updates is a good stream. I don't know, I've just missed this. I haven't actually seen this myself. So, see, I think this is because I've got a wired keyboard. I've always preferred wired keyboards. So I've probably just missed all this altogether. I'll try and get that more that way. Yeah, so that's some there. Right, okay. Just try to get the comments away from my face. Well, that's the thing. I looked at keyboards. I actually did a video or two about it last year about keyboards because I was ready to buy the Microsoft keyboard. There was like 100 or so, and then I read a couple of negative reviews about it. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that there has been problems with this. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, at the end of the day, see with a lot of things, especially with Microsoft, a lot of the time they use customers as guinea pigs. You're the guinea pig to test things out, which is okay. It's so, like, for example, gaming, it's okay if you get a preview of a game and you realize that it's got bugs. But when you get a finished product and it's a mess, like, I still can't believe, I can't remember the company that developed it, but Gran Turismo that's just come out on the PS4? What they did was absolutely ridiculous, where basically you need to be online to play the one-player game. And their servers were down and people couldn't play. It's just that whole kind of situation. But Windows for years would do that. They would send out products knowing that it wasn't 100%. But what do? Do you hire people to actually beta test something and test that everything's working okay? Or do you just throw it out, let people test it, and then you've got all this feedback saying, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, and then they do it. But I guess it is surprising at this, 2017 that they didn't get this right. But one of the reasons I kind of come back to a wired keyboard was, because of like running out of USB ports, etc. I wanted like a wireless solution. It looks better. It means I've not got wires lying around, and my desktop is a mess with wires now. But I always found, see with keyboards, like the batteries always ran out. They always ran out at one point, and like keyboards and mice would say it would last for 6 months. It would last for a year. Maybe because I work online and I'm working the computer a lot, but I would sometimes get a couple of weeks out of it, and then the batteries would go, and it would always be, I was in the middle of an important article or something important, and then I'm running around the house trying to find batteries, and it's just easier to plug it in. If I'm at a desk anyway, it doesn't really bother me whether it's wireless or not. You heard that Lewis says that the HTC U11 Plus will have wireless charging, 4,000 milliamp battery. It also has a lot of upgraded features for the squeeze feature. Yeah, I didn't know about the updated features for the squeeze feature, but I saw the rumours that there might be wireless charging. I think that does look a good phone because it does. It does it. Where is my? I was going to say where's my phone? There's my phone there. My U11. I think the battery life is good in this, but an extra 1,000 milliamps would be good. But in saying that, you are getting a bigger screen, so I'm not sure how much of that would actually transfer into additional battery life. But it does look good. It does look really good. I think the announcement for that is tomorrow, so I can maybe do another video about that tomorrow about it. The Razer phone is actually being announced tonight at 8 o'clock, and I did consider doing a live stream then, so that, you know, I could show you the live stream and then I could talk about the Razer phone. But I couldn't find any information about what the Razer phone conference is going to be like, so I'd go on thinking this would be a 20-minute stream, and I'd be sitting there for 2 hours listening to all this boring marketing talk. So I think the Razer phone, I think I got most of the information correct anyway. We'll find out tonight when that comes out what it's like. And, you know, if there's anything different, I could always do another video. That's a good question, Evo. Who makes the Razer phone? That's a good question. Because it's very doubtful. I mean, I don't remember. I don't recall any of the articles that I read about it saying who was producing it. It's definitely an OEM product. I mean, like Razer are a big company. They've got a lot of money, obviously. They're an international company. They produce a lot of products, but they're not a phone company. They're not a phone company. So they won't have the functionality there yet to produce phones. Certainly not on a mass scale. So they've definitely outsourced that. Was it Motorola? No, yeah. There was an older phone, Lewis, called the Motorola Razr. That's going back early 2000s. It was like this thin flip phone that had these kind of... I didn't like the buttons on that, but it was really, really thin. I don't think there's any information about that. Razer phone. Now, obviously, this is like 4 hours away from the conference, or for the Razer phone. Razer. I'm searching for Razer phone developer. No, that's not coming up anything. No, I don't see any information about that. I'm basically having a look online just now to see if I see any information about who actually develops it. But we've saw a lot of companies in the past, and you know, they just kind of rebrand. Razer phone 1 day ago. Nah, I haven't seen any information about that. There's no information there that basically explains who it was made for. I don't know, Evo, because... yeah, I don't know. It's really just speculation at this point. From a cost point of view, then they could maybe just go with a cheap Chinese company. You know, a company that doesn't have as much experience, but they go with one of the bigger guys. They've got the backing of the bigger company, but also means that, you know, their profit margins might go down because they're paying a lot more money. The thing is, like, we saw that was, I don't know if you guys remember the Essential phone that was announced a few months ago, and that was released at $699, and now they've actually dropped it down to $499, which is a good move. But I think one of the things that I said at the time was that with the Essential phone, it was the guy, who was it? It was the guy who founded Android. I think that was behind Essential, the guy who created Android initially. I think this was the main player behind it. So we had a lot of important people try to push it, and a lot of these big, high CEO type guys come out and said, oh, this phone's going to be amazing. But it wasn't. The phone had a lot of problems. It wasn't, you know, it had a fast processor, etc. Andy Rubin. Yeah, that sounds right. That does sound right. But the thing was, despite the fact it had a lot of important people backing it and it was a cool design and all that, they basically went into the top of the price market, you know, the top of the market, and they didn't have any, you know, this isn't a company that's got years of producing phones. And remember, when you produce a phone, it's not just the phone you need to worry about. It's the, you know, support afterwards. I'm not talking about customer service support, which is also important. I'm talking about drivers and updates, and then like the security issues and need to update it and things like that. This is the sort of thing that even established companies get wrong from time to time. So they were coming out at the highest price point, and you just think it's a big risk. It really is. Yeah. Let's so Lewis, this is the one that Justin Lucia is talking about. This is it. This was the Motorola Razr. 2003. Yeah, I got it right. Early 2000s. It had these funny buttons on it. And it was a little flip phone. That's I never liked the buttons on them. I thought it was a little strange. But this was... I'm trying to think what I had back then. It was probably a Nokia phone. In fact, I changed my phone a lot back then. I had a 2003. In fact, that was just before I went travelling for the first time in Asia and in Australia and things like that. I think I bought a Sony around that time. Yeah, I had a Sony. I had a Sony Ericsson. First release 2005. Ah, in fact, that's even later than I thought. I thought that was early. I thought that was early 2000s. Yeah. I mean, Razer is their company name, so it makes sense for them to call it something like that. Razer phone. Yeah, it's surprising. Like Motorola were one of the first companies to really get behind mobile phones. The first time I remember this is the phone. Is that still showing? The Motorola Attack. This is the first phone that I remember someone using, and this was like 97 or something. It was like the StarTAC thing, and looking back now, it's absolutely huge. It's like a big, massive monstrosity of a thing. But I remember looking at the time thinking, my God, that is the smallest phone I've ever seen. And it was tiny. Oh, that's Nokia. Yeah, so Motorola were a huge player at the start. They still are. They're doing well with their Moto G range now. Yeah, I really like my BlackBerry. Like when I bought my BlackBerry was kind of it was kind of a step back in many ways, because I think at the time I had a phone with maybe it was an 8 megapixel or whatever 5 megapixel camera, and then I went to the BlackBerry and it was only 2 megapixels. You know, it was kind of step back was that way, but the typing was great. That's why I was thinking about the Key 1 phone this year. I really did love the idea of having a physical keyboard again. I thought it was a really cool idea, but yeah, I kind of backed off. I thought I'd just go for a traditional phone instead. I do like the idea of a physical keyboard though. Yeah, it was weird though as well though, because the BlackBerry I had, it was like even browsing the internet and all that, it was an absolute pain. You had to use the little cursor. It's not even that long ago, I guess, 2009 maybe. I couldn't, like, actually I think I mentioned this in another video, but BlackBerry have partnered with Blue. The Blue is that I've reviewed 2 of their phones. They sell cheap phones on Amazon. The first one I reviewed was really good. The second one wasn't, but that was a low end phone. But yeah, they've partnered up with Blue, so that was actually quite a surprise. They went with a Chinese company, especially one. This is the thing. BlackBerry are known for security. They're known for having the most secure phones out there, and Blue are known for selling your data. So it's kind of bizarre partnership. Hi, Atlantis. Welcome to the stream. I actually planned for this stream to be about 20 minutes long, but I'm just going with the flow because there's a lot of my good subscribers and commenters who have turned up. I don't think it was a passport I had just under this year. I think it was the was it 80? I was going to say 8810. I'm trying, I'm enjoying going off on a tangent today. I can tell you exactly the one that I had. I don't know if I'll find it. I'm not sure if this is the exact one, but it was kind of like that style. I don't know if that's the right generation though. It was that style though with, I think these ones are actually later than the one that I had. I can't see it though. I've not put in a very specific search term. I've just put in BlackBerry. In fact, I'll show you the best mobile phone I've ever owned. There we go. This was the coolest phone I ever owned. This one here. I think I gave it to my brother a few years ago. That one there, that's the 7210. God, I'm showing you I'm very geeky. That's the first mobile phone I ever had. That was in 2000 in fact I got it. Because I just started working. Well, I'd worked before. That was my first serious job. BlackBerry Bold 900 or 9900. You could be right there. It was something like that. So that was a 7210, and I was heavily influenced by The Matrix in 1999. So I came out of uni in 1999, and then I started working. I actually worked at the sound baths full time because I used to work there part time during uni, and then I got a job in finance, full time job, and that was the first phone I got when I started making money. The 7210. But the 8810, this thing, 8810i, 8910i, I think that's right. Do you know what? There's a chance it might actually still be sitting over at my mum's somewhere. Yeah, that's it there. I absolutely adored that phone. I loved it. The thing is as well, right? So see when you bought that phone, 8910i, that's it, Nokia 8910i. See when you bought the phone, right? It was very expensive for one. It was like maybe 600 or something, but basically you were paying 600 for a phone that was functionality wise was £100 phone. It was really a superficial decision. Give me a break, I was younger, but it was amazing. It was light because it was titanium, but it had the kind of matrix slide thing, so it protected the keys, etc. It only had a 2 megapixel camera. I think it was 2 megapixel. The videos were terrible. It was that old 3GP video format where everyone kind of moved around like that. But I loved it. I thought it was so cool. It was so light. It was so portable. And here's the great thing. See when you actually bought it, it came with a desktop charger and it came with a spare battery. So you'd put it in the dock and it would charge. But what you could do is when I came into the house, say I came home and I'm like, oh no, I'm running out of battery. I could quickly change the battery and then put the other battery out and that would start charging. And I could continue to charge the other battery in the phone or take it out and start using it. At that point, I've got a full battery and I've got another battery charging. It was the fact that it all came in the box. It was just great the way they did it. And they just don't do that anymore. You just don't get... God, like iPhone removed the headphone jack and then they gave you headphones that couldn't even connect to the phone. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's like today. You really don't get as much as they used to in the past in that respect. I can't remember the man's name. The person who commented in my video the other day, I apologise if you watch this, Old Cameras. He's got the YouTube channel about old cameras. He's got a really good YouTube channel. But he was talking about obsolescence, and that's a video I want to talk about in a separate video. Planned obsolescence and the fact that companies don't let you change your batteries and things now. From an environmental point of view as well, it's bull. They should really let you change your own battery, because the vast majority of people don't want to change their phone. The only reason to change is because your battery's dead. The N93, I'm trying to think if I had that one. The N93. Now I'm going to Google that. I remember that, but I didn't have it. Yeah, I remember that one. That's still pretty... I mean, that's... That's the thing, man. Nokia were really brave with some of the things they come out with. But they could afford to because they were the dominant player. This is the thing, like new companies are now, like look at the Razer phone. Every phone looks like that. That's how every phone looks because you can't take risks like that. Nokia N93. Just Andalusia had the satellite phone. Yeah, I'm too young to remember that. That would have been cool though. So was basically the whole briefcase just a battery? Is that how it worked? The whole briefcase was just a battery. I had the N95. I had the N95 was a phone that I had. That was the N95 was the one that switched. You could slide at the top and slide at the bottom. Like at the top, it had like, was it like play and pause and things like that? Is that correct? And you slide it, and you could see, you had like additional buttons, and it had like I think it was a 5 megapixel camera. In fact, that's it. Yeah, I had that one. Yeah, so you could reveal like the buttons there. And what was the camera? 5 megapixels. Yep. See, I can remember stuff like that in my brain, and I can't remember. There's like other things I just can't remember, like visual things I just can't remember. So what did this? Right, 3.2 megapixels camera. What year was that? 2006. It's an interesting design, isn't it? It is quite cool. It is quite cool. I'd love to maybe get my hands on some of these for some videos, you know, just kind of walk down memory lane. Oh, you definitely would have been the bee's knees. Satellite phone, walking about with the Miami Vice suit on. You know, they weren't common. I knew a friend who had an expensive car and it had a phone in the car, but the phone was huge. But yeah, it's kind of mad. Yeah, I remember the Game Boy camera. I didn't have one myself, but I remember it. And there was a printer as well. You could take the pictures, and then there was a printer. I think you can still buy them on eBay, and you can still buy the paper and things. A lot of people have kept it alive. It's funny though. I think it's funny how, you know, like just under the Sierra, you're obviously a little bit older than us if you're talking about satellite phones, etc., 40 years ago. But it's funny when you get older that you start noticing differences and you know, things with culture, like how everyone reacts to things differently. Right, for example, you go out now and you go anywhere and so many people are just sitting there. 56. Well, I'm 38, so yeah, you've got 18 years on me. So I mean, you're going to any place now and most people are just sitting down with a phone. I'm guilty of this sometimes myself. But I remember when phones first came out, I remember, I think it was just before I got my phone. So maybe like 99 or something like that. Or maybe earlier than that, 98. And it was on the bus, but in fact, it would have been about 2000. I probably had a phone myself at the time. And I was coming back from work in the bus. So I got the bus back from Glasgow, back to my hometown. And it's like a 45-minute journey. And we're on the bus, and it's ready to pull out the station. Buchanan bus station in Glasgow. So we're pulling out, and someone gets a call. So someone gets a call on a mobile phone, and they start talking to their friends on the phone, which, like today, is nothing. Everywhere you go, someone's on the phone. They're either messaging or they're on the phone. I swear to God, this was a full bus, maybe like 50 people on it or whatever. Just about every single person was like tutting away. Can you believe this? Can you believe how rude is that? How rude is that? They're talking on the phone. They're still talking, and everyone was upset that they were on the phone talking. And it's just like a few years later, not even that long later, it was like everyone was doing that to the point where, like, it's like, say you're in a pub now, right? You know, like I didn't have my first phone until I was 20, 21, right? So 20, I think it was. But I'd been drinking for a few years in pubs. And honestly, see, for the first few years, like when I was at university and all that, see when you're out, younger people won't obviously remember this, but see when you were out drinking, You had to make all your plans beforehand. So if for any reason the plans changed, like you missed the train, the bus didn't go or whatever, you were just in the pub yourself, or your friend was in the pub themselves, and that could have been you the whole night. There was no way to get in contact with your friends. You actually had to phone home and then hope that they phoned your house and left a message. And it's just so different now. Like we would go out and say, right, we'll get you to the pub. And I've went out before and I don't even know what pub my friends are at now. And then just when I walk out, then I'll go, oh, I better check where they are. And then I'll text or I'll message or phone and say, right, where are you guys? It's just bizarre how things change over time. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of talking in public transport either, if I can help it. I don't mind like quick conversations, but I wouldn't have a full journey for it. If I had a 30-minute train ride, I wouldn't talk for the whole time. It'd be like, right, okay, right, I'll catch you later, bye. But it's funny that I noticed that with online dating as well. I think, when was it? Several years ago, and there was such a stigma with online dating. Like, people would make fun of people who were online dating, like, oh, did you meet them on a Yahoo chat board and all that kind of thing, because it wasn't socially acceptable yet to be on online dating. And then I was single a year or so ago, and I remember talking to my friend from training, and I was like, I can't be bothered with the online dating websites. And he was like, what are you talking about? He's like, get on there. He's like, you're absolutely stupid now for not going on there. And it just showed you how over the space of 10 years, it went from people were being kind of, there was a stigma against meeting someone online as if it was like you couldn't meet anyone else or something, to the opposite now, where you're actually the odd one out now if you meet someone, out and about in a pub or whatever. My friend Tony this year actually got married, and the girl we got married to was the girl that I met online. So it's just kind of crazy how all these things move forward, and things that weren't socially acceptable suddenly become socially acceptable. We might see that again in the future as well. I know the Google Glass thing failed, but maybe in the future something like that will come on, and maybe it will I don't know, maybe it'll become acceptable. I don't know. Now you can just yeah, I do that as well, Lewis, like with Google Maps, etc. What I'll do sometimes as well, I did this with my girlfriend the other week. I was meeting her, I was meeting at the shops, and I was getting there before her. So when I arrived, I just went to WhatsApp and I just sent location, and it comes up something like accurate to 4 meters. So basically she can actually just click on it. It pops up in Google Maps, and she can just follow the map and it'll take her right to my parking spot. It's just mind-boggling that it's just so useful, and it's amazing that these things, I don't know, I take them for granted myself sometimes, but it's just when you actually think back to what it was like before, and going anywhere in the past, you had to get the big, the physical books out, where it was always like you're always in that crease in the middle of the book was like that, and you're wherever you were going was always in the middle, so you had to try and where is that, and try and figure out where it was. But it's just the way it goes. I agree, Lewis. A lot of these things do come at a price. It's one of the. I used to listen to a lot of podcasts, like Joe Rogan, Bill Burr, and a few others. But really, the only podcast I really listen to now is Bill Burr, the comedian Bill Burr. And I watch Joe Rogan sometimes on YouTube, but Bill Burr, he talks about this kind of thing a lot, about what you're giving up. Private information. He talks about this all the time, and he says that within the next 10 years or so, people will willingly put chips in them, like some sort of chip, if it makes it easier to go somewhere, get through the airport quicker, buy their food or their shopping quicker, and all that, and they'll put a chip inside them, which basically means you're on the grid, essentially. And a lot of people would, with that, I mean, that whole issue, where they talk about security and all that, they had a thing in the UK, they kind of had a little mini debate about it, about ID cards. And when I lived in Colombia a year or so, and I had an ID card, And I had, you know, whenever you get stopped by the police, you had to show them your ID card. It's just accepted there. But in the UK, there was a big fight against it. And the problem isn't that you're being tracked or you have to have an ID card and all that. The problem is who's got the right to look at this information. And there's been lots and lots of times in the UK where, you know, very sensitive information has been seen by people who shouldn't be seeing it. Not to mention the fact that a lot of this information, it isn't secure and people can hack it and then get the information. There's the one? There's a classic Simpsons episode where Homer becomes a security guard and he starts abusing everyone. And Lisa asks him, if you're the police, who's going to police the police? And Homer says, Coast Guard. Best of luck with that, Just Under Lucia. So what's your YouTube channel going to do? It's going to be what to look for, things to do, and when buying property in Spain. So is it going to be targeted towards, you know, people moving to Spain? People like, for example, expats from the UK, from Germany, from France, anyone who doesn't really know Spain? That'd be quite useful. Would you need a green screen, or would you not be better, you know, doing it on location? You could always do it on location. You could always do it on location if you are, if you got a decent microphone shooting outside, could be a good option. Like you guys know, I'm not an expert on that, you know, that kind of side of thing. I'm learning it. I'm trying to get better, but if you want any advice on it, just give me a shout if you're unsure about anything. I might be able to point you in the right direction. But really, if you're shooting outside, really it's about if you get a decent on-camera microphone or audio, you know, solution. Really, it's just make sure you've got a dead kitten, you know, something to stop it from the wind and things like that, so you get good audio. Yeah, the whole. This is probably a topic I shouldn't talk about on my channel, to be honest, about Barcelona and Spain just now. Yeah, it is. I'm kind of against. I'm not. I wouldn't say pro Catalonia, but I don't like the way that. I've always liked Barcelona, but no. Well, I mean, I was for Scottish independence, but it was more to do because. I was for Scottish independence more because I just don't like Westminster. Like Billy Connolly summed it up perfectly when he asked him. I don't want to go on a political tangent here, but when they asked Billy Connolly, and I think it's easy for anyone in the UK to get caught up, anyone in the world to get caught up with nationalism and all that kind of thing. The fact is, there's good people and bad people all over the world. I've travelled dozens of countries around the world, and that's the one thing. You meet a-holes in every country in the world, and you meet good people in every country in the world. And they asked Billy Connolly about Scottish independence, and he said that it wasn't up to him to decide. He said it was at the end of his life. You know, it's for the younger people. But what he did say was that, what he did say about it, sorry, I was just reading a comment there, Arsenal Glasgow. I'll read that just now. What Billy Connolly did say was that he thinks it's more of a class thing. You know, he said he's got more in common with a welder from Newcastle or Liverpool than he does with a lord that's in the Highlands of Scotland. And I think that's true. You know, I think if I think about what I think should be fair, what I think, you know, political views and all that kind of thing, I think I've got more in common with someone that's in my same level, that, you know, that hasn't had handouts and doesn't, you know, that kind of thing. I've got more in common with someone like that from the south of England than I have in the north of Scotland, who has lived their whole life with a, you know, with a silver spoon. But I do think as well, the whole Westminster thing, it's just the whole system from top to bottom, it's just corrupt, personally. But you get that in every country. Like, there's like 1% of politicians that aren't a-holes. They're all self-serving. Do you buy, like, Arsenal Glasgow? Yes, I buy stuff from CEX. It depends on the product, but I always do my research. Whenever I see something on CEX, I check the retail value, I check what it's going for on eBay, see if there's anything on Gumtree, but I try and avoid Gumtree because people on Gumtree sometimes sell electronics more expensive than what it is just now. and you know, it's harder to test things and stuff. Yeah, I would recommend CEX. I do for certain things, like for example, Rode microphones. For whatever reason, CEX don't sell them at a good price. Like some of them, they're selling them secondhand more than brand new. I don't know why. I don't know why they aren't selling them at a good price. But then there's other thing, like my laptop right now, I bought it about 900 and it was selling for 2,200 new, and mine was mint condition, and it was only being used for months, so it had like 2.5 years left of the warranty. So if you do, if you do your research, I think you're okay. But I think there's a lot of money to be saved there, and you get a guarantee. And if you pay by PayPal online, you get that guarantee as well. Yeah, yeah. Lewis is saying that it was a slippery slope. Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't want to enforce my views on everyone. I've had heated discussions with friends and other issues, and you know, it's the whole Spanish thing. Like, I've went to Spain most years since I was a kid. I love the country. I went to Barcelona. I like the Barcelona football team. One of the reasons I like the Barcelona football team is because I went to the stadium when I was like 14, and I got pictures everywhere, and I saw the trophies and all that. But I've been to the Madrid stadium and all that. I've been all over Spain. Probably the northwest is the only part of Spain I've not been to. I love the culture, I love the language, and I love it all. You know, I would consider moving there, and I've thought about it in the past. But the whole Catalonia thing, I don't know. I think that I can understand the Catalonian independence movement, but I do think, without a doubt, there's people who want to keep a united Spain within Catalonia that aren't having their voices heard as well. So vote for Kevin Muldoon. Yeah, but I think what's pushing a lot of people behind Catalonia, you know, from what people I've spoken to, is the way that the government are handling this, and the way, you know, there was Spanish police beating up old ladies who were just going to vote, and that's ridiculous, and that's what pushes, that will actually push more people towards Catalonia being independent than anything else. So I don't know. I just hopefully it'll be resolved. I don't want any violence or anything like that. Hopefully they can resolve it. I don't know how, but hopefully they can resolve it somehow. But like I imagine in Spain there's a lot of tensions being built up. You know, there's maybe some Spanish people that hate Catalonians now, and vice versa. Yeah, I was discussing to watch all that. And you know, I'm not a fan of Westminster, and I think during the Scottish independence thing, they did do a lot of, you know, the editing. They were quite manipulative with what they do with information. They went heavy-handed when they realised they could lose Scotland, but at least we were allowed to vote. So you know, you can't take that away. Yeah, Lewis, there was a lot of videos where there was like an old lady voting, and they were holding her and pulling her away, and there was dozens of people. I don't know the exact figure. It was a few weeks ago, but there was a lot of people who were hurt. Yeah, so hopefully I've avoided any kind of political problems there. It's one of those things. I mean, I think with this, you need to try and see things from the other side, and it's hard to do that sometimes. It is hard to do that sometimes, but how would you feel about that if you were, for example, if you lived in Madrid, and how would you feel about all this if the tables were turned and you lived in Barcelona? I'm actually going to Barcelona in a few weeks for a weekend. First time I've been back since 2004. I was there in 2004 for a football game. I've since been to Madrid 2 or 3 times since then. Arsenal Glasgow. I am using the HTC U11 just now. To be honest, I don't actually change my phone as much as people would think. I had my Google Nexus 6P for about 18 months, and I've had this now since about June, so got 5 months. But I don't know. I've been looking at other phones. What's put me off changing is the fact that it'd be a sidestep. It wouldn't be an upgrade. The main reason to pay a lot of money for a phone really is the camera. If not, I would just get a mid-range phone. But the camera on this is still really good. It still holds up very highly against even the Pixel 2 and the new Apple iPhone 8 and X or 10, whatever it's called. So I don't think I'd upgrade until the Snapdragon 845 phones come out. Like, for example, a Samsung S9. The Samsung S8 was actually quite nice. I really liked that phone. And in hindsight, I probably should have got that earlier on in the year before that came out. Yeah, well, Google is watching you. Big Brother's watching you. Oh, I'm screwed then, because I use Google for everything. You know, I'm signed into their email. I've actually, you know, I've moved domains there. I've got email, YouTube, the lot. So they know everything about me. They know where I am at all times. So I can't piss off Google. I can't piss off Google at all. Not at all. Yeah. It's just one of those things, though. Lewis is right, though. You do, for living a more kind of comfortable lifestyle with all this technology, you do give up your privacy. And that's talking from someone, you know, if you search my name, you'll find out everything about me. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully it's all good, but doubtful. I've been to Malaga Airport, just down Lucia. Lots of times, but I don't think I've actually been to the city itself. Yeah, I was in Seville a couple of years ago. I've been twice, but I was there for a conference 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. And it was up to like 50 degrees. Like during the daytime, it was unbearable. It was like you got showered, you got dressed, and you walked out, and within about 2 seconds, you were drenched again. Yeah, it was just too hot. It's a nice area though, that kind of south side, like Bernardino and all that, Torremolinos and Marbella and all that is down there as well, isn't it? I've never seen that myself, Lewis. I've never seen spam messages on WhatsApp. I do get spam messages from, you know, in text messages. Sometimes I get the odd phone call and stuff as well. I have the occasional argument. I had a man phone me the other day. It was about some sort of energy thing, and I says, "Can you tell me how you?" And he was like, "Oh, being friendly and trying to talk to me." And I was like, "Well, can you tell me how you got my number?" No, it's okay. Right, thanks. And I was like, "No, can you tell me how you got my number?" And then he just hung up. It's like, what can you do? I think there's check out. There's some apps, Lewis. I don't know which one I'm using. I was using one that basically popped up when any phone call come up. There was a known spammer. I don't know if I still have it installed. It might have been in my Nexus. I don't know if I've reinstalled it. And basically, whenever a call come in that you didn't know, it would pop up. This is like a known spam call or known marketing call, and it would just automatically block it for you. And I think you could do it for text messages. I'll maybe look into that myself, because this is something I still get every now and then. The problem with Samsung is they have everything built in. They've got about 50,000 apps built into the phone. You can't remove them. That's the one thing that Samsung, I think, design-wise, I still think the Samsung S8 is probably one of the sexiest phones out just now. Nicer than iPhone 8. Maybe not the iPhone X, or 10, whatever you call it. But the Samsung S8 is gorgeous. It's a great-looking phone, design-wise, but I just hate the fact they've got so many applications that you can't remove. It goes against, you know, like, what's the point of having 4 gigabytes of RAM if, you know, so much of it is being used by these apps that you can't remove? Very annoying. Yeah, I tested the S8, the regular one, and I don't know. There was a dual SIM. Where's that from? Is that from another country? Was that like an Asian version? Don't know. USA. Oh, right, okay. I don't know if it was available in the UK. I was impressed by the cameras. I thought they were kind of similar to the HTC U11. That one. But what I liked about the front camera could do 1440p, and it seemed to be stabilization was better. That's the one thing, that the stabilization on this is pretty poor. So ideally, what I'd like to just put this, you know, get my phone and just do vlogging like that, but it's so shaky that, you know, the footage is borderline unusable because of that. I'll maybe wait till after New Year to get a new phone though. I don't know. I just need more of a kind of upgrade. Like I bought this for £600, but you can buy it new for 500, which basically means selling it, you know, 5-6 months old. If I got 400 for it, I'd probably be happy. But that shows you like over 5-6 months, that's kind of cost me 400. So an alternative is to buy cheaper phones from China and then just, you know, change the phones more often. So that's something I might try and do at one point. The stabilization, Lewis, especially for the front camera, which is where you'll be vlogging from, there's basically no stabilization. I did some videos about it, but it was like the stabilization was really poor, if non-existent. Yeah, see, just Lucia, see, that's something I'm still not comfortable with. Yeah, I'm going off in lots of tangents here, Evo. I've got too many conversations going. I'm going off in, I even had a mad political rant. Yeah, that's something, you know, like vlogging, taking videos in public is still something that I'm not too keen on. I've got another YouTube channel, Rise Forums, which is about web development, making money. I've only got like 300 subscribers. It's growing, but it's kind of on the back burner just now. But I was at a conference in Edinburgh in July, and I went out to do a video. So I thought, right, okay, I'll show people what the venue's like. So I went round to do a video. So I had this, but I had like the mic and all that sound on the top of it. The top of it. Better stop. I need to stop throwing in Scottish slang too much. Well, not there's anything wrong with it, but you know what I mean. So I was walking about the conference, and I noticed right away, like I was just like, okay, here's what the conference is like. This is what it's like. And right away, I noticed there was some people doing this, so that they didn't want to be in the video. And I felt like that myself, so I don't like to put that. I don't want to make other people feel like that either. But then other times you're like, well, if I want to show this, I need to show it. So it's one of those things. Yeah, I can't understand that, Lewis. I can't understand why they had, like, the HTC 10 was known for having fantastic optimization, like image stabilization, OIS, and then they removed it. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Thanks for the kind words, Josh Standalisia. I actually feel less pressure. Like, not that I have a pressure, but saying it's not easy when live. See when you're doing, I don't know, like see when you're doing a short video, like 4 or 5 minutes, you kind of have to get everything right. Most of my videos, like you probably can tell by the videos that I do, but most of them are done in one take, if not 2 or 3 takes. I do mess up sometimes, but like there's certain things I don't mind. Like in my videos, I do misspeak a lot, but I've seen people edit the videos to the point where they're robotic. And it's kind of weird that a lot of people think like that. I've seen this in like YouTube forums and people talking about that. I know I should probably keep bloopers. I've seen people talking about that where, you know, they want to edit out all the mistakes and all that kind of thing. But what people don't realize is, see, every single person that you talk to, all your friends, everyone you interact with in real life, they misspeak all the time. They say the wrong words. They, you know, sometimes when it's really warm in here, when I get dehydrated, say like that, that's when I misspeak. But things like that, I just laugh about it. It's like, it's the way I talk. So what can you do? And I think when it's live, it almost feels like the pressure's off because it's live. It's like, just laugh about it. I don't know, it just feels more natural. Arsenal Glasgow, the best phone, Xperia XZ Premium. I saw that phone the other week. I was in, I can't remember if it was Carphone Warehouse or if it was the EE shop or something. I was in having a look, and yeah, they had the Sony phones on display. The screen looked gorgeous. My friend Tony had the, I don't think it was the XZ Premium. I think it was the one before that. I'm just not a big fan of the kind of square design of the Sony phones. I don't know. There's something about them I just don't like with that. They just feel a bit too square. Like, they've always had these big, large bezels at the top and the bottom. And Sony actually put a lot of, you know, overlays and stuff on it. I'm not a fan of their OS, you know, their Android skin. But they always have really good cameras. They always put these crazy 23 megapixel sensors in there as well. Yeah, I kind of Evo saying there that, which you can see on the screen, but he's saying that prefers mistakes chill out over their scripted video. This is the thing, like I've kind of like the whole YouTube thing, right? As far as everyone who does YouTube, they want to get more popular and get more subscribers and things, but the problem is, I think when you're learning, you've got so many people saying you should do this and you should do that. I've been working online since 2000, and you know I've written thousands, literally, probably over 10,000 published articles online, maybe more. I don't know exactly, but there's thousands and thousands of my articles out there. And one of the things I always said to people was that there's no right or wrong way, because, for example, in the blogging world, when everyone's going this way, if you go that way, automatically you've developed a niche because you're doing something different. And also, there's certain things I don't do with websites and blogging, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means I don't do it that way. And someone else has, might break the rules, what people would call the rules, and yet they're successful. And this is the thing, like in YouTube, a lot of the people will say that the most optimal video time is like 3 to 5 minutes because it's all about watch time. People have short attention spans, and shorter videos are easier to share and all that kind of thing. But that's assuming everyone is the same. The fact is, see, like all the videos that I watch, all the technology reviews, I really can't be bothered with the, like, as Evil's saying, the chill out videos. I can't be bothered with the polished videos so much. Like, I like Marquis Brownlee, I like a lot of the top tech guys, but sometimes they shorten, for example, a video that I would probably spend 40 minutes analysing and showing you guys, they would polish it up to like 5 minutes. And I don't know, I think you do lose a lot with that. I do think you do lose a lot. And just Daniel see us talking about that. Do you think videos are best edited or just as they're done? What will people appreciate most as it comes or polished up? I think it depends on the video. I think it depends on what you're doing. So, for example, this video, I just thought I'm going to have to unbox these anyway. Why not do it live? Chat to you guys. I can show you all the things I got in the box. But for some of these things, I have to test it, and you just can't do it live. I can't test a keyboard live, really. It just makes it more difficult. Like the tripod, I could do it live, but then I might not be showing you the angles correctly and things like that. There's other things that I could do live. So there's certain products that I could do live. So, for example, I could do a quick unboxing of this, or there's not much in the box, but I could maybe do a live one about this, just stream live. Or I could just do an unedited video where I just talk to the webcam like this. But then other videos, you kind of need to bounce around, like show the overhead shot and then show this and then show me at the end and that kind of thing. It depends on the video. But I would say the whole polish thing is, I've been thinking about that because I've been putting on, in all my videos, I've got like a little bit at the bottom that says kevinmuldoon.com, and then I've got a part at the end of the video, plays music, it says thanks for watching. And you know what? I don't even know if they're worth it. Is it worth putting those there? I don't know if it is. Doesn't change the content. I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. That's like, I think my channel now has got like 1.2 million views, which sounds a lot, but I've uploaded like close to 600 videos over the last 4 whatever years or something. And then someone can upload a 2-minute clip that they've stolen from Seinfeld and have 10 million views. And they've monetized it and made money from it as well. Yeah, I think you're right, Evo. Everyone does have a niche. I do like Marquis Brownlee. I think he comes across as a really likeable guy. He's really knowledgeable about what he talks about as well. And that's important as well. I think that really is important. Being knowledgeable about what you're talking about. I'm knowledgeable about certain things, but I'm not knowledgeable about others. But I think that's in my favour. like this is how I've kind of tackled articles as well. And one of the reasons why I think I've produced good tutorials online and written good tutorials is that it's hard for someone who's knowledgeable about a subject to explain it to a novice. So if you're up here in experience and I'm down here, it's hard for you to explain to me the problems that I'm facing, because to you it's just second nature. And there's things like that I couldn't explain, you know, to someone because it's so simple. Like I could never teach a beginner's computing course, for example. I could never, like, to give you an example, I remember I first started working in finance, and this guy had retired, right? So I was like 20 years old. I had my degree and stuff, but I didn't have any financial qualifications at the time. This guy had retired. He'd like 40 years of working. He was the most experienced guy ever on paper. He had, you know, every qualification you could think of. He had worked for dozens of different companies. He'd been a manager. He'd been a teacher. He'd been all these different things. And he came into our team, and I'm 20 years old. He's like close to 60, or he's even older than 60 because he'd retired. And he's just sitting here with a mouse, and he's doing this. He'd never used a computer before. He'd never used it before. And he lasted a couple of days, and he just went home. He just went home because he was like, I can't do this. And it just shows you that, you know, you have to kind of move with the times. But I couldn't teach someone like that how to use a computer. I couldn't. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm doing this in a very, very long roundabout way, is that I think there's guys like Marquise Brownlee, etc., who know more about me about certain subjects like monitors. See, when people talk about monitors and they're talking about all the ratios and the saturation and the color gamuts and all that, I'm like, I don't know. But the good thing is, with subjects like that, for me to get an understanding about things, I need to then go and Google it, figure out what it means, and then I can explain to people how it works. So there's a lot of things I don't have experience with, but in a roundabout way, it's kind of beneficial in some ways, because it means that I can tackle it as a beginner, learn about it, and then pass on the knowledge to someone else. Whereas someone who's really experienced would not be able to do that. Arsenal Glasgow. No, I've not got the Switch yet. You know, my time's actually been limited as far as gaming, so I've not bothered with it. Something I might get in the future. Personally, yep. Evil Gauge says Fossey Carter, for example. Fossey Carter is an absolute legend. I love his videos. This is going back to what I was saying. Fossey Carter goes on and, like, say for example a phone or a phone case, he will live stream or just do a video and it'll be like an hour long. I keep doing that to the wrong side of the camera. He'll do a video and it'll be like 40 minutes long, and it's really useful. Like, see, like I've bought phone cases because of I watched the review on his channel, and I love his videos. I love his attitude. He comes across as a likable guy. He's really funny. He's unique. I think he's great, and he deserves all the success he gets. But you know, I think that kind of YouTuber is more like me, where he does a longer video and he does it. It's not as polished. He just puts a camera there and he talks, and he's funny. And well, I'm not saying I'm funny, but you know what I mean. It's good content. Another one I like, guys. If you like my channel, I'm sure you'll like Geekanoids as well with Dave Cryer. He's a really nice guy. He does a lot of tech reviews and tech videos as well. That's another channel I recommend. Yeah, oh, Fossey Carter's cat. He does videos about his car as well. He's done some random videos as well, where like they test like salsa and hot food and all this to see who can do it. Easy Computer Solutions. I don't know that. Jay Williams. Who's that, Lewis? I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I'm not sure of Easy Computer Solutions. I don't think I've watched those videos. Mrs. Mobile. Nah, I'm not. I'm subscribed to a lot of tech YouTube channels. The way that YouTube works though, because I think I did a video where I showed you all the people I'm subscribed to, but I'm constantly subscribing to new channels I find, and because you're subscribed to so much, you miss a lot of the content, unfortunately. Eric from Easy Computer Solutions. He make a funeral video. It's yeah, I mean, I don't like, there's people as well who just say everything is amazing when you really should highlight it. In fact, where is that box? This is another problem with YouTube as well, and on Amazon, where everyone just says everything's positive. I got a little travel adapter thing, right? And I've got another one of these, a better one over there. And I looked at the Amazon reviews. I gave it 1 star. Every single other person gave it 5 stars because they want something free or cheap or whatever. You know, they've obviously got the reviews marketed, but it just shows you, you know what I mean? Like, some people will just say something's good because all they're caring about is money or pleasing the sponsor, and I was just like, this thing is terrible, absolutely terrible. It's got this thing, at the side, right there. So it's got this diagram showing you 1 to 4 where the ports are, but then if you look at the manual, that's supposed to be, the whole writing's supposed to be the other way so that you can align it and say, right, that one's 2.4 amps, that one's 2.4 amps. But you can't see. I plugged it in, it was buzzing. It keeps buzzing now when I use it. And it just feels cheap. So I gave it 1 star. I was like, this is a piece of crap. Piece of crap in a Scottish accent. But it's funny because I'm giving it 1 star and everybody's giving it 5 stars because, and you know, this is the same. I found this on blogs as well. There's a lot of bloggers, you know, content creators in general. Yep, China. Made in China. Everything's made in China. There's a lot of bloggers. There's a lot of YouTubers, and you know they'll say anything or do anything for a quick buck. And I realize it's hard to make money from your channel. It is, but there has to be integrity. There has to be. You have to, like, if I said everything was great and didn't criticize anything, you couldn't trust my opinion. There has to be a happy medium. You have to say the good things and the bad things. But there's a lot of good YouTubers out there. Oh, right. Yeah, I know the guy you talk about, Mr. Mobile. Yeah, I know him. I've seen a lot of his videos. He does good Android videos. Yeah. Long term, though, you know, obviously, from a technical point of view, I don't know if I could do, maybe I could if I had more experience and all that kind of thing, but from a technical point of view, those videos are really good, you know, like Mr. Mobile and all that. They're shot really beautifully and all that. I imagine they've got a team of people doing a lot of the, you know, helping out, you know, to produce those videos. But the thing is, like, there's a lot of YouTube channels like that. They've got really, for example, take the iPhone X, right? They could do a video and it's all polished and they'll spend a week or days getting this footage to look perfect and they'll edit it down to 1 5 or 10 minute video. Whereas I would spend a day on it and then the next day I would try to move on to something else. You know what I mean? I guess over time, the quality of my videos will get better with equipment, but I like the idea of not spending, again, it all comes down to spending more of my time creating content than editing it. Maybe if you're a larger channel, you can pay someone to, you know, you can pay people to edit things and that, so you just have to, they can do a lot of the shots, you just have to be in, actually shooting it, you just have to be in a few of the clips, and then other people can handle all the edits. But that's a different setup, you know, at that point, you're obviously, you've got a larger workload, so you need to hire people. Who's the boss? Is UK Tech Channel? Oh, I didn't know that. Didn't know that. I'm going to check it out. There's that many tech YouTubers. Like at the moment, actually, most of the content I've been looking at YouTube has all been about audio. I want to get a better microphone. I want to get a better audio setup and things. So I've been watching lots of microphone reviews and things like that. I realise a lot of you guys don't. Well, some of you are more interested in phones and gaming, aren't interested in that. But for me, it's something I need to try and get my head around and get a better setup to progress to the next level as a YouTuber. But at the end of the day as well, I try not to overthink all that. I mean, I just try and make step in the right direction with all this kind of thing. I think the biggest thing about all of this is I like doing it. I like the interaction with it. I like connecting with people. I like producing videos. And I'd rather do that. I'd rather do live streams like this every day than spend 10 minutes recording and then 3-4 hours editing a video. That's not enjoyable. I just want to interact with people and record good content. Yeah, just go for it, just Lucia. Just go for, well, that's the way I would do it. You can always record a video and then edit it down, but what I'm talking about is like switching shots and all that kind of thing. That's the thing, Lewis. J. Williams. I'm trying to think of I might be a subscriber. I'm not sure. Honestly, I've actually at the point where I've actually lost count of the number of people I'm subscribing to. That is one of the things that I need to try and, as a kind of like a juggling act as far as what I'm reviewing technology wise, because for example, I'm going to buy a new microphone, but if I did 5 days in a row of microphones, it's going to annoy the people that aren't interested in microphones. You know, I thought that at the end. I did a lot of videos about the GoPro. I did lots of videos at the one time because I thought I'd try and do it. In fact, I'll do a final review of this one day, but I realised at one point, right, I need to try and reduce the number of videos about the GoPro because there's people who aren't interested in action cameras as well. So you're trying to juggle and do a little bit of everything. But it kind of works out all right. It kind of works out, you know, I don't just do one thing or the other. I'll need to check out those channels though. Definitely need to check those out. Well, ZTE actually have just released a big, they've released a new phone with a huge battery. I saw it on Giz China. Can't remember which one it was, what the phone was called. But I think I talked about this another day. ZTE. Alright, Dobber, alright, Carty boy. That's my pal Carty. He's crap at FIFA. Yeah, there was a new phone with the ZTE that's come out. I can't even find it now. By the way, if you're interested in phones, I have referred to this a lot, but if you're interested in phones, check out this blog. Really good. I check this sometimes for news, etc. Axon M, yeah, I think you could be right. Axon M. Is that the one that's got like a 5,000 milliamp battery? I think that's right, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's got a 5,000 milliamp battery. But I talked about this another day. The ZTE is also the creator of the worst smartphone I've ever owned. I talked about this last week. I think I did. It was, yeah, just the worst. It was an Android, and this was I had an iPhone 4, but I didn't want to take it out when I was out in Colombia because, you know, it was an expensive phone, so I got a cheaper one. It wasn't even that cheap. It was £150 when my iPhone was 600, and the thing was unusable. It was absolutely unusable. Yeah, so it was to the point where you couldn't even use it because it only had, say, 125 megabyte of RAM. I eventually just gave it to someone because I was ready to throw it off a wall. Is Axon M? Yeah, the Axon M is a cool one, but there's another one that's out. It's got like a large battery, like a really large battery. I think it's just out. See if I can find it. I think this is the, yeah, the Axon M. In fact, I'll bring that up as well, so you guys can see that. So that's the one Lewis was talking about there, the Axon M. So that's a really cool idea, that it's going to have foldable screen. It's really, really cool. Really interesting idea. You basically open up and then you can either use it as, you can duplicate the screen or you can just make it one big large screen. I don't know what it'd be like with batteries, but it's a really interesting idea. I imagine it's going to be tweaked over the next few years. You know, they'll maybe, it might go off on a tangent and develop into something else. Now, this is the one I saw. 4,870 milliamp battery, 8 gigabyte RAM certified. 30 megapixel camera. So it's kind of like a mid-range phone by the looks of it. Octa-core processor. Which one? Yeah, it looks like a mid-range. 3 GB of RAM, 4 gig and 8 GB. That's bizarre. Android 7. 4, that's a huge battery. Especially with a 5.2 inch screen. That's a 2-day battery basically. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I want to kind of check the Chinese phone market more, because there's so many different options that are coming out. Microsoft 640 XL. Which one was that? Microsoft 640 XL. Was that was Windows, wasn't it? Was that the Nokia phone? Did Floss actually review that Evo, or was he just talking about the news? See, the thing is, I had when I come back traveling from South America, I wanted a wee quick phone. I just bought an HTC phone, but it was Windows, and it was, I can't remember what it was on. I think it was Amazon. What do you call the marketplace? The second-hand marketplace. I bought it from there, and it was like £50 when it was selling for like 150. I got a bargain, and I loved it. I thought it was a great phone. I thought it was a really good phone. I really liked Windows. The only thing with Windows was the app support. The actual, once you get used to the navigation and all that, it was actually a lot better in my opinion than Android and iOS. But there was just next to no app support. And then when you did find an app, it was very expensive. You know, when in the Android world, you got stuff for free. But yeah, it was. I actually thought Windows was actually quite a good operating system. I quite liked it. I customized it the way I want with all the tiles. I don't know if maybe just because I had an iPhone for a few years and then I had an Android phone, and then switching to Windows was maybe just, it was kind of like a novelty. But I must have had that about 5-6 months, and then it broke. the SIM card get caught. The SIM card slot wouldn't put out the SIM card, so I had to send it back. But yeah, that was the same problem with BlackBerry. They didn't have apps for it, so with no apps, you couldn't, you couldn't do anything. Like BlackBerry, there was even like calculator apps they were charging like £1 for, and you're like, a calculator, that should be default. Things like that. Well, I got a refund. I got a full refund actually, but it was because it broke. It was an HD. There was an Android version of that phone, whatever the phone was at the time. I can't remember. It was like an aluminium body, kind of like the M8 design, but it was smaller. It was like a smaller screen. But I thought it was okay. Super Saf, yeah, I've seen some of his videos. He does a lot of good stuff. Kind of the more polished kind of videos he does, but I can see why he's popular. But it's one of those things. I mean, Windows Phone kind of became cool to hate, from a technology point of view. I've never understood the. This is me misspeaking again. Dehydrated. I've never understood all these people that pick sides, like as if Steve Jobs or Bill Gates cared whether you picked Apple or whether you're a Microsoft guy. It's just pick the thing that works. The whole, I don't know, it's the same in the gaming world, the PS4 or the Xbox or whatever. But yeah, it's funny how people get behind and they'll go with the masses and they'll say Windows sucks. Because there was a lot of people when I had the Windows Phone, and I would actually show them. I'm like, no, try it out, and they went, oh, that's actually okay, and they were actually quite impressed by how it worked. They were quite happy with it. They went, oh, that's quite cool actually, but they disregarded it before they even tried it. Here's another, like I've said this before. I think it's a long day. I can't remember if I have said this before. I'm sure I've said it before, but this reminds me of the running joke over the Microsoft Zune. And my friend Carrie, who was on there, me and Carrie and our other friend Dave, we were in New Zealand for 6 months or so, and we were living in Auckland. And I got the Microsoft Zune imported from the USA to New Zealand because it wasn't out. I got it just at release. And believe me, it was years ahead of the iPod. Years. Better sound, better screen, better navigation. longer battery life. It was amazing. It was an absolute amazing MP3 player. I gave it to my brother later on, and he used it for years. It was a fantastic device. And eventually, the kind of navigation system kind of transferred into Windows later on. It was the start of that. But it was a fantastic MP3 player. But then if you watch TV programs, I don't know, like Big Bang Theory or any kind of technology show, it's a running joke about the Zune. But the Zune was amazing. It just wasn't popular. There's a difference. There's a difference between something not being good and not being popular. But sometimes history kind of changes how people saw it. Another classic example would be Betamax. People would make jokes about how Betamax was terrible, despite the fact it was more superior. Well, in the beginning, before VHS was developed, people would make jokes about, oh, it must be a Betamax, as if it broke down, despite the fact Betamax was more expensive. It's kind of weird how that happens in how it happens in the tech world, and how people's perceptions of technology will influence how they, what something is like before they even try it, or before, with no knowledge of actually using something, they'll have an opinion on it. Kind of bizarre. But Just Andrew here sums it up right. Life is too short to argue over phones. And yet people do. People do. I don't know. I don't know. I think people years ago would always argue with Apple and things like that. That's the common debate: Apple versus Android, or Apple versus Windows. And Apple's good, but the premium you pay for Apple is just insane, in my opinion. I'm saying that as someone that's an iMac that's sitting there gathering dust. Right, okay. Kev, Fitbit or Garmin confused? What are you confused about? Reason I'm saying that, they've got a lot of products, because Garmin do a kind of, traditionally, where are we? Traditionally, Garmin did things like this. Fitbit did things like this with the straps, and Garmin did watches. But Fitbit now do watches, and Garmin now do Fitbit trackers. So it depends on the product. It really does depend on your product. I think my pal Carty, I think he's got the Fitbit watch. This is what happens with a lot of companies. One will tackle this kind of side of the sector. Another company will go the other one, but then they kind of try and meet in the middle, and they start offering lots of different options. Battery life, I couldn't say, to be honest. My ex I bought her the Fitbit, and I think the battery life was, I'm just guessing, I'm sure it was a week or so. Yeah, but this one, the battery life, get in the shot there. This one, the battery life is really good. Now, if I don't use it, if I don't track anything, then I'll probably get a week or two out of it. But if I'm using the GPS, if I'm going out for a run, I use it down the gym sometimes as well. Well, actually, I try and track most of my weight training sessions as well, and if I go out for a run, I always use it. So when I'm using the GPS, it goes up quicker. But, I probably only charge this once every week and a half, probably. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. But I've got the Mi Band 2. This is the one from Honor. Similar idea. Very cheap. I'm looking forward to trying it. Oh, you've got a good wife bringing you a cup and a chocolate cookie. Can't go wrong. The thing is like, see with the fitness tracking thing as well, though, a lot of it is integration. It's all about apps and all that as well. For example, I've got Garmin Connect here that tracks weight, it tracks steps, it tracks sleep and all that. But this also feeds into MyFitnessPal. So if I enter my calories for the day or enter the weight I'm trying to lose, it syncs what I've did to MyFitnessPal, so it all syncs together. So it works really well. And it's the same with Fitbit. If all your friends are on Fitbit and you want to track steps together and things like that, then it makes more sense to go with that. This is actually the the Garmin 935, which is effectively a Garmin 5, essentially. The Garmin 5 and 5X, I think 5, there's a Garmin 5, 5X, and the 935, and it's like 90% of features are on all three watches, but then there's a couple of features that are only in one, only a couple of features that are only in another. Mine's is the lightest one, because I wanted one that was a little bit light. I didn't want it too big and bulky. I mean, a bigger watch is okay if you're walking around, but I wanted one that I was going to be using for running, swimming, weights and all that, so I wanted it to be a little bit lighter. Yeah, it's, at the end of the day, if you've got the money for Apple products, Lewis, then, you know, it's your money. You can pay what you want. You know, there's always going to be people who want something a little bit nicer, and they don't mind spending a little bit extra money. It's just a little bit, I don't know. Like, even if I had millions in the bank, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be an issue, or maybe I would still, you know, try and get my best bang for the buck. But if you saw like the iPhone X, you know, that's, you know, talking $1,000, $1,100, $1,200, and they're charging close to $300 for a screen repair. It's insane. $300, like, you could literally just buy another phone than getting the phone screen repaired. Yeah, it's kind of mad. It's kind of mad. The fact is that the phone in the first place is designed so that it's not easy to fix. It's not easy to replace the screen, so that no one can do it easily, because they know if it's easy to fix, you'll get the little shops doing it. But there has to be some sort of regulation before that kind of thing's stopped. This is more back into what we're saying about obsolescence, where companies are purposely making it difficult so that it can't be upgraded, so that 2 or 3 years down the line you're forced to just pay another $1,000 out. The reason I like Android is that it's a little bit more flexible with certain things. Well, it was in the past. I haven't used Apple in years, so it's maybe wrong for me to say that. But as far as pricing goes, unless I'm talking about a higher end Android phone such as Samsung Galaxy Note 8, I think it is, it's on now, isn't it? Google Pixel 2, the expensive one. At that point, when you're paying double, then it's harder to justify it. But that's kind of what I feel about the Pixel. The Pixel is a beautiful phone. You know, it's got a great camera and all that. But the Nokia's phone came out with Snapdragon 835 at £500, same price as a OnePlus 5, and you know, you're paying double the price for a phone that's got the same amount of RAM, same amount of CPU. Like, basically, phones have got the same CPU and RAM and roughly the same screen. There shouldn't be as big a discrepancy in price. Not really. It should be, you know, there should be a little bit of difference in price, but double, you know, it's a little bit insane how much they're charging. But, you know, there will be slight variations, but if you've got two phones with the same CPU, the same operating system, the same RAM, the same screen size, the same resolution, the same battery size, if one's 500 and one's $1,000, then what are you paying for? You're paying a lot more money for a tiny little bit more functionality, which is normally the camera. That's the main thing that's upgraded. But if you want to pay it, fine. But I mean, I'm not saying I've got the right to talk. I paid $600 for that, and that was more than what I should have paid, really. And I see a pips. You're paying for hardware. Right, guys. My belly is rumbling, so it's time for me to go and eat. So I really do appreciate all you guys hanging out. It's been great chatting to you guys. Really have made this really enjoyable. This is what I'm looking for with live streams. It is kind of hard for me sometimes to plan this out and schedule when I'll be going live. But if you guys hadn't turned out, you know, you hadn't turned up and commented and, you know, chatted to me, I probably would have ended this stream after 20 minutes. And I've been going for close to 2 hours now. So many thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. Sincerely mean that. And hopefully I'll do a stream in the future. I'll do some more streams. Be good to do a topic. I have talked about this before. I'll try and do some live gaming with you guys. But I enjoyed this kind of I wouldn't even call it a Q&A, just a mad rant followed by a political discussion and then other tangents. But thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. I'll do more live streams in the future. Thanks again, Lewis, Evo, Justin Lucia, Arsenal Glasgow, everyone else who dropped by. Really do appreciate it. Time for me to eat. I'll speak to you all soon, guys. Take care and have a good one. Cheers, guys.